Hello there, this is DBT, and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt 8, and today we're gonna be driving this beautiful car that you can see on the screen right now, the Apollo Intensa Emozione, because that is the car for the current Carhunt. However, you can see on the left side of the screen right over here that the Carhunt for me, it's different. Why is that? Well, this is obviously because I'm recording this video before this car becomes a Carhunt. It is just known that this is gonna be the next Carhunt. So basically I'm recording this in the past and there's a reason for it. And it has to do with the fact that this particular car hunt, I haven't done all of the missions or anything, and it's gonna finish or rather end in about 7 hours. So that means that if I wanted to get this car, the Muscular Land Shark, this would be the opportunity for me to get it. And you know what? I'm gonna get it. And here we go. Okay, so I get a pop-up after I made the purchase, but here we go. And it has been officially purchased now. So why did I go for it? Well, I'll try to be brief about it. This is a car of class S, and while I've been complaining obviously about the hyper focus on classes lately, it doesn't take away that this is one of those quote-unquote expensive cars. This car normally would be acquired for tokens, and it was in that way for a very long time. And after that, normally if this car goes for sale for money, it apparently goes for like $20 or $30 or something like that. So it's sort of an expensive car to get, and otherwise there's no other way to get this car unless you have a master key, which I do, but I'm saving it for whatever reason I'm saving it. So I decided, you know what, I'm willing to pay this amount of money to get this car, simply not because it's a class S, but because it's a car that I like. I do like this car quite a bit. In fact, I do like the 3 Musculars that are in the game. Let me show them to you. So this is the one that I just purchased, the Muscular Land Shark, but there's also the Muscular GT3, and then there is the Muscular Super GT, both of them which I already have and pro'd. So this is the last Muscular that I'm missing, and man, can you tell that this is basically the same car, obviously with slightly different body, except for this one that is a much more pronounced body. So either way, it doesn't matter. I really like this car because you know that I like the racing cars, GT1 style of very long cars with a big wing and all of that. So yes, I decided, you know what, this is a car that is worth for me to get. I don't know if I'm gonna be trying to MP tune it, but oh well, I'll figure it out. I might make some content. Jesus, let me try to say that again. I might try to make some more content from it. And actually, I think I still have some more coins that I haven't. Oh, look at that. I should claim this. Don't forget to claim your daily coins. And I should probably have some packs over here. Oh yes, a bunch that I haven't claimed. So I just want to get also the kits for the car because that's gonna save me wild cards and credits and whatnot. Now, how many kits am I gonna get? I don't know. 30 kits. There might still be some more missions that I can do before this timer runs out. I could literally go and try to do all of the missions, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't need that many kits. The reality is that I only need like another 20 kits, and that should be enough given how I upgrade cars. But anyway, we're not here just to talk about this car. Like I said, we're gonna look at the beautiful Apollo Intensa Emozione, which, by the time this video is out, is the main car for the car hunt. And I want to test it out in multiplayer. I already made some videos on it, but hey, this video basically is here, and excuse me for the coughing. This video is here for you to decide if you want to go for this car. And of course, this is a premium car. You have to also pay 10 bucks in order to get it. The free car should be the 2015 Ford Mustang, which is normally a token car. I believe it's something like 500 tokens, if I'm not mistaken. How good or bad is this car? I don't know. I guess I'll have to make a video on it at some other point. But for now, let's focus on the Apollo IE because I think that's the most interesting or more important information that you need. Now, because I'm recording this relatively early in the classic season, I haven't really made a whole lot of progress. You can see that I've only done 8 races, so it's not like I can drive the Apollo IE, but actually the Apollo IE is a fantastic car to use in Master Season simply because of the general performance of the car. So let me select the car, activate boosters, and start this up. Oh yeah, and I said that I was going to show you also the stats of the car once the booster is there, so if you were curious about the stats with boosters, or rather with tuning kit, there is that. But yeah, let's jump into the races. Now, I was just having a quick look to see if I had done a pro test of this car, but I'm not sure if I have. And if I haven't, I should, but obviously this isn't the case because my pro tests are done in Classic Season. Because generally speaking, as I always say in Jesus Christ, in Master Season is when people aren't playing necessarily as, what would I say, hard or aggressively or whatever as they would otherwise in Classic Season. For some reason, they seem to put a lot more effort. Oh my god! Well, that's one way to start a race, to knockdowns. Okay, sure. Here I am trying to say that people aren't as aggressive here in Master Season, and I got knocked down twice, but oh well. Yeah, so generally speaking, I have found that if I want to test the performance of a car, the best place to do it is in Classic Season. In Master Season, you encounter people that are maybe unboosted, people that are just chilling, people that are driving with lower ranked cars. I like to bring Class A, like once I'm in Elite, I like bringing Class A cars just to see how many Class S I can beat with my Class A. Generally speaking, it's because they're unboosted or they chose a bad route or whatever. But yeah, I would say that the most competitive case for Class S cars would be, and rather I suppose for any class, would be in Classic Season. So yeah. All right, we got a 5th place. Let's go, Barber. I mean, well, look at that. Everybody was triple boosted and in Class S. All right, well, at least I beat the Terzo Millennium. I guess that's something, right? He went for a bad route, but oh well. And in this race, someone did bring a Class A car. But being Tokyo Reverse, it might be me who ends up suffering. And that ties to the idea of what is the situation with this car. Well, bad nitro. Oh, but look at that. There's a car with even worse nitro. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, this car, I would say that probably its biggest weakness is the nitro. That's not to say that, oh my god, it's the absolute worst nitro in the game. It is not even close. But it's definitely on the bad side of nitro. So you want to use this car, you gotta make sure that you're doing some oh god, too high. Oh, barely. You gotta make sure that you're taking care of your nitro, you know, to do good management with it and whatnot. So yes. But other than that, the car, I would say it's a very, very comfortable one to drive because the acceleration is okay, and the handling is actually pretty good. The drift is good. I'm not gonna say pretty good, but I would say good just overall. So I would say probably above average, but who knows? You know that I'm not the type of person who does in-depth reviews of cars, and while this is not a protest, at least I want to give you a bit of information so that you know what to expect if you're actually gonna pay the 10 bucks in order to get this car. I don't want you to be surprised once you pro it and oh my god, this car is terrible because of this. I didn't know that it had such bad nitro. And again, it's not a straight up garbo, but it is on the bad side, so just keep that in mind. The one thing that I will always say is that this car, even in its current state, is still so much better than it used to be before it got rebalanced. It was at a rank of like what, 1840 something, I think. Oh man, the rank wasn't the problem. The problem was, well, something else I will talk about in a second. But for now, I did get defeated by a Centenario, but I beat an MP431. A Terzo Millennium boosted, Renault. Oh, this one is actually MP2, never mind. And there's the Zonda R. Unfortunately, he actually ended up even behind the MP2 Renault RS01. Huh, strange. I would have expected that to win, but okay. So that was the problem that I was talking about, or at least what it used to be the problem on this car, was the skidding. This car was not as skiddy as, say, the McLaren F1 car. Oh my god. The McLaren F1 cars used to be, because they were the kings of skid. But this still was a very unreliable car because at any given moment it would be very, very happy to just go to the side and kiss a wall really, really hard and wreck while it was doing that. So it was a bit of a nightmare to drive just because of that. I've always said that cars that skid, that unreliability makes them less than ideal when you want to drive them, for example, in multiplayer where, you know, any random BS could happen, and then if the random BS is because your car just suddenly decided that it wanted to skid, well, then that's the end of your race. So yeah, that's what makes, or used to make this car not ideal. And even then I still got it, knowing that it wasn't gonna be a great car. I still got it back whenever I got it. It must have been a couple years ago, simply because I absolutely love the look of this car. It's insane. Now I do wish that this car had more color options, because unfortunately with all of these dark color options, you can't really see the shape of the car so well, but oh well. Well, oh well. Alright, got defeated by an Absolute and a Faraday, but I did beat a Ferrari FXXK, a Guerra Silver Lightning, and there's the Renault MP2. Alright, yeah, that doesn't have much of a chance. Oh, and I didn't show you the race counter because I'm gonna change color, but you can see the race count over here. As usual, I show you that so that you know that these races are sequential, there's no cherry picking. But yeah, these are the colors available for the Apollo IE. We got it on default black, we got it in some very dark green, we got it in dark blue, and in dark purple. They look kind of interesting, but honestly this car could look so much better. And listen, I am sorry to interrupt the Asphalt 8 with some Asphalt 9, but just look at what this thing looks like in different colors. It looks absolutely beautiful. In fact, if we put it in white, just look at this thing. It's gorgeous. So there's so many shapes on this car. It's such a beauty of a car, but unfortunately in Asphalt 8 we don't really get to see that, because of course the colors over here are just the dark ones. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, and I really wish that Game Love was to add another 4 color options, have it in orange and white and something like that, so that the car really shines, because it is such a beauty, but unfortunately it is very underrated because of how dark it is. But anyway, let's continue the races. Ooh, Terra 9, let's see what we can do over here. But yeah, I really wish this car had more color options. In fact, this is one of the cars that I mentioned in my DVT's wishlist 2, my second wishlist video that I made, where I was talking precisely about color options on cars that only have one single livery. And granted, this does have some color options, but they're all so dark, so this thing could look so better. But anyway, I mean, you can still see the shapes of the car, right? But honestly, once you see it in the bright colors, you're like, oh yeah, now we're talking. But yeah, either way, at least this car in this game sounds absolutely fantastic, which is one thing that Asphalt 9 does terrible. This car in Asphalt 9 sounds like an absolute snore fest. It's terrible. That's a completely different issue. I really like the engine sound that this car has, so hey. And I do know that this car used to have a different engine sound when it came out originally. I don't know at which point Game Love decided to change the engine sound, and some people say that they prefer the old one, but honestly I do believe that this sound fits this car very well, because this car IRL in real life really is a screamer. It has one of those super high-pitched screams when you're revving this thing, so maybe not necessarily straight up sounding like an F1 car, but still really good, and I think this is a good representation in the context of Asphalt 8 of what this car sounds like in real life. All right, holy moly! All right, the 53 Faradays, though only one was triple boosted, but hey, not gonna lie, still feels kind of good to defeat Faradays, because, you know, I don't like Faradays. And by the way, in the previous video that I did with an interesting key phrase, I did notice that some of you guys did have fun trying to figure out how to write it down and what was the additional condition in order to be counted. So I'm gonna be trying to bring from time to time that same idea in adding an extra condition in order for the comment to be pinned and all of that stuff. For anybody that doesn't know what that is about, I have this, oh come on, and it had to be a Faraday because of course. If you want to get a heart and a pin, you need to leave me the key phrase, which is a thing that I say during the video. I tell you that it is the key phrase. And then anybody that writes that thing is gonna get a heart. But the very first person who writes it correctly not only gets a heart, it gets a pin. So that is basically how this little game works over here. So yes, today there's also going to be an additional requirement, which is going to be that you're gonna have to capitalize every single the starting letter of the IE, because it's gonna have to do with IE, you know, because Apollo IE, intensa emozione. So yeah, capitalize that, and that's gonna make it valid, obviously, as well as writing what the actual thing is. But yeah, so basically I'm doing this in a couple of stages just to see who is actually paying attention to this whole thing, because I realize that some people are very smart and they just extract the key phrase from the captions, and I'm not gonna disable the captions because they're useful for everybody else. But now that I see that some people are kind of cheating in that sense, now I'm gonna make it a little bit more interesting to see if they pay attention or not. But all right, second place, the Vulcan won, which is another car with horrendous nitro, but hey, but I did beat a Centenario. I won the unboosted Faraday. Oh! That Faraday, not the driver, just a car, but still, that's the one that knocked me down. And look at him. There's a Racer Tachyon, a Devo, and another Racer Tachyon. All right, you know what? That kind of works, so I'll take it. So again, just to make it clear, for the key phrase to count, you need to capitalize the very first letter that corresponds to I and E. All right? I hope that's clear. But yeah, so it's a fun little game that we do over here on the channel, doing the key phrases. But yeah, I see you guys being smart, so I have to be smarter about it. So here we go. But all right. So you can see the acceleration on this thing, as I was saying, it's not amazing. I did get knocked down in the previous race by a Faraday, but then again, we're taking into account that the Faraday accelerates really, really good. Maybe not at the start, but after a second, suddenly it really goes insane with the acceleration, which is what the more knowledgeable people tend to call what? The recovery. Oh, I think the Centenario crashed. I saw someone getting on a light over there. So yeah, apparently the recovery of the Faraday is what's really, really good about that car. And that is why it suddenly can recover that speed. Oh, good. I'm fine. Even though the first stage of the acceleration is kind of slow. Not slow, but you know, not incredibly fast. First place, baby! Apollo IE power, I tell you, what a beautiful car. And by the way, every time that I say IE, as short for Intensa Emozione, I always think of Internet Explorer. Maybe some of you youngsters don't know what Internet Explorer was, but it was a thing in Microsoft Windows. But anyway, beating a Faraday, Centenario, Cyan, and a Centenario. Sad that the three Lambos ended up at the bottom, but hey, you know, it's fine. It's fine. In fact, now that I remember, this car, the Apollo IE IRL, has this. I don't know if it's a livery that they made in the quote-unquote factory or if it's something that they applied later, but there's one version of this car called the Orange Dragon. Holy moly, looks absolutely fantastic. If I remember, I'll show you a picture before this video ends about it, because it seriously looks amazing. And if they were to bring that over here, oh, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. What? We're fine, don't panic, people. And yeah, this car was also very recently featured in the video that I did for the fantastic Gauntlet team, in which I brought cars with fins. You know, that metal thing that ties the wing with the cockpit, that thing called the fin. Yes. So you can definitely see the fin. You can definitely see the fin. Oh, wow. I mean, totally spit trick. Sure, that was totally what I wanted to do. Fine, whatever. Listen, I didn't want that podium at all. All right, defeated by Faraday, Centenario, and the Jesco that stole it from me, by the way. But I defeated Cyan and a Chiro 300 Plus. Wow, that's kind of surprising. I'll take it. See, I'm not so bad. I did remember to show you. Yeah, this is the Apollo IE Orange Dragon. Just look at that. Oh my God, it's crazy. And here's another view from the back. Well, 3/4, I suppose. Man, doesn't that look amazing? Wouldn't that be great to have in the game, huh? So anyway, as explained earlier, if you want to get the heart and the pin, you need to leave me the key phrase, which for today is: the Internet Explorer increases the exposure of interesting identification of the inner environment when illegal elements ignore the enigma that impacts it. First person to post that with the rule that I mentioned earlier is gonna get the heart and the pin. Anybody else that posted afterwards is only gonna get the heart. So there you go. Good luck with that. So yeah, so overall, just to finish my thoughts with this car, should you go for it for $10? I'm gonna say it really depends only in if you want this car in particular. Because given the rank of this car, it should be the type of car that should show up in the multiplayer store, which again are the cars that aren't necessarily the most amazing in Class S, but they're still Class S. And you know, the multiplayer currency is not too difficult to grind, or rather to acquire. You do need to grind it a bit. Oh God, I'm fine. So this car should appear over there, but it is not. Or is it? Oh, hold on, I'm not even sure if it is. You know what? This was gonna be the last race, but now I gotta double check this information, because if it shows in the multiplayer store, then absolutely there's no reason to pay $10 for this car. So let me check that for you. I guess we're gonna do one more race. That wasn't in the plan for today, but you know, we're gonna do it. First place, Pepper! Defeating two Connects at 1-1, Silver Lightning, and a Sport Grand. That one, yeah. Well, I was gonna do one more race with this car, but then my boosters are out. Because I spent some time looking to see if this car was in the multiplayer store. It seems that it's not in the multiplayer store. I might be mistaken about this, but I really believe that it is not, and that is why now it's Carhunt. Again, if I'm wrong, actually let me know in the comments, and I'll acknowledge that. For now, I do believe that the car is normally not available in the multiplayer store, so maybe this is your chance to get this car if you don't have it, and if you really want it. But again, don't think that it's an amazing car. It's just an okay car. It is a beautiful one, and it sounds fantastic, so that's good enough for me to want to drive it off. But alright, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all of that good stuff. Check these other videos that I made on the Apollo IE, but in different games. But for now, that's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.